afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. This is the Headlamp community call, and it looks like we're already recording. Is that correct? I think it records automatically. So what we can do is, I think we have a few new faces, maybe. We have 13 of us so far. It's looking good. So what I can do is I can start off by introducing myself, and then we can go ahead and introduce ourselves. And from there, we can pivot into our LFX presentations. Does that sound good, Renee?
Yeah, sounds good.
And then we can do any updates beyond that after, if that sounds good. Is there any other items anyone else wanted to add or anything top of mind before we get started? No? Okay, I'll start by introducing myself. If you can come off mute and introduce yourself after, um, feel free to do so. Otherwise, go ahead and put it in the chat. My name is Will Case. I am the product manager for Headlamp. I've been a part of the team for just about 2 years now, and I'm happy to be on this call with all of you. Renee, do you want to do an intro?
Yeah, I'll go now. Thanks, Will.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm Renee Dudfield. I work on Headlamp for years, I think. Yeah, nice to meet you all. Um, okay, so next, Summit, do you want to introduce yourself?
My name is Sumit. For the past few months, I have been working with the Headlamp and also working with the Zoacom for the past couple of months on the Kubernetes plugin. And I have been keen to open source, helping people out there and building myself as a professional here. That's myself. And I am also working on the Google Summer of Code for the JSON schema, like enhancing their navigation into their studio.
Oh, thank you. Joaquim, do you want to introduce yourself next?
Yeah, my name is Joachim. I'm uh, I would say creator of Headlamp and maintainer at the moment with Renee and a couple of others. Not sure if they are here. Yeah, and I these days I try to review, even though there's so much that I and I have little time. But yeah, and I've been trying to make sure that at least a few PRs land on the Kubernetes plugin, like Sumit said. So yeah, who wants to go next? We have Mahmoud here. Gonna go next.
Yeah, sure. So, hello everyone. My name is Mahmoud. I'm a developer and a senior student. I have been a part of the Linux Foundation, mentorship for the past couple of months, and I've been working on the Volcano plugin integration. And yeah, I will demo a part of the plugin today.
Thanks. Great to hear that. Anyone else want to come off mute, or is everyone else going to introduce themselves on chat?
I can introduce myself. My name is Albert Liu. I work for VMware, one of the UI leads for VCF automation. We're starting to do things with Headlamp now, so I wanted to join the community and see how we could contribute, especially because we have some internal teams who would rather fork, and I'd rather not do that. We'd like to get along, hopefully.
Excellent. Thanks for joining, Albert. Great to meet you.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, yeah.
Hello everyone. Myself Atan Kai, and I have been contributing to Headlamp since past 2 months now. And I love the community here and also the amount of support which I get from Rene and other things as well. So I'm also here to explore the community and contribute as per my skills and also to increase my skills. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Hi everyone, am I audible?
Yes, we
Yeah.
can hear you.
Yeah. Hi everyone, I'm Mudit. I am working on the native plugin for Headlamp as well as I've contributed to Headlamp for like the previous 3 to 4 months. Yeah, excited to join. Thank you.
Great to have you.
Okay. Hi everyone. I'm Utkarsh Raj, and I had been contributing to Headlamp for like since March, and I started as a beginner because like it was my first times in open source when I started with Headlamp, and from there I start learning things. Like at beginning it was not easy, but afterwards I was just going in flow with along with all of the people who were there, and then I'm here right now, and I'm also working as a software engineer at one of the ride hailing company. So it has been like a lot of learning from the being there in Headlamp for a long time, and I would love to being with all of you and then continue my learning. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Thank you. Great. Okay. Seems like we have a few others joining. Since we're a little bit, does anyone else want to come off and introduce? If not, I'm not going to prod anymore. We can do it in the chat and
Sorry,
continue.
hello.
Hey,
Hello.
Can you hear me well? Hello, everyone. I'm Esteban from Argentina. I would like to introduce myself also. I'm a software developer from Argentina. I'm a student at the National University of Tierra del Fuego at the very south of Argentina. And I've been working with the cloud for about 5 years now. I've started running test workbenches for IPv6 only clouds inside the Lexi containers for the nodes, which wasn't pretty much implemented in the beginning. And I started committing code for a project called Eclipse Che, or Che, as I like to call it, which is a web-based IDE, which is kind of like the default now, but it wasn't back then. And recently, I've been making a couple plugins for Headlamp to help me visualize my workflows where I do in my cloud, I have two clouds and I do testing. So I wanted to visualize my pipelines and my network policies on Headlamp. So I've been working with help from the AI and copying everyone's plugins. I've been checking them all. So I've been copying you all. Thank you so much. You're geniuses.
excellent. Thanks.
Oh, I'm sorry. I also have the plugins to showcase later if you have time.
Oh, and which one is that, Esteban?
It's actually three plugins. It's one plugin for Tecton pipelines, one plugin for Calico, which uses Calico is a network software that provides network to my pods, right? It has pod CIDRs and network CIDRs, so it's one of like the backbones of the cloud networking right now. And the third one is for a project I made myself to mediate between the two projects. So my pipelines with Calico policies for the networking. So there's factory resources in cloud that create other resources. So I try to apply network policies to those factory resources, so they get those policies inherited to the objects they create. So it's three plugins, and also they work with each other. There's one plugin that requires the other two, but then two of the three plugins work with each other without needing to require each other. Actually, there's like a bridge in between.
Okay, perfect.
So, hello everyone. I am Ashwani Yadav. I am a free finance student at Delhi Technological University from India, and I have been actively contributing to open source from 1 year as of now. And I have some contributions in Rocket Chat and some at Listen Brain. And from the last 3 to 4 months, I am actively participating and contributing in Headlamp. So as of now, I have 30 merge PRs at Headlamp. I am actively learning about more about code bases and different optimization techniques and how different plugins work, their API formation, and all the whether it's a UI thing or a backend thing. I am learning and try to optimizing that part. So yeah, that's the basic introduction of now. And I have a great one conversation with Rainy on whether you can say on GitHub or something or on Slack. So yes, I have community interaction in the Slack also. So hello, that will be given to the about me, and I would like to contribute and learn and grow together.
Excellent.
Hey guys, am I audible?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So Raj this side, a CS student from BITS Pilani. So I have been contributing in open source for the past 8 to 9 months, and right now I'm working in Google Summer of Code with the healthcare organization OpenMRS. So it's honestly been a pretty exciting transformation from contributing to healthcare projects to now contributing in Headlamp. So really enjoyed the journey so far, and recently implemented some pretty cool features along the way. So yeah.
Anyone else? Otherwise, I guess, Sumit, we can go to you for the Kyverno plugin demo. Give me one. It looks like that's just about it. Anyone else want to introduce themselves?
I think Joshna remains.
Joshna? Oh, hopefully I didn't want to come off mute, so that's fine. No,
Hello,
oh,
hello.
there we go. Yes, we can hear
Yeah,
you.
Jyotsna this side. Right now, I am in my final year. I have been contributing to Headlamp since past 2 months, and I have built cool features which could help Headlamp along the way. So yeah, nice to be here.
Glad to have you.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome.
Oh, Will, before we start with the presentations, maybe we could a few minutes with Albert to discuss collaboration first, and then we can,
Sure, that sounds
if
great.
Albert wants to.
Sure. Yeah, sounds good
You
to me.
guys are fine with me. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, so VMware has a Kubernetes distribution called VMware Kubernetes Service. And right now we have a mandate to try to um, become a better member of the community, and that includes doing UI work. So we're looking into Headlamp to try to see how we can support our users when they want to use Headlamp, to manage their Kubernetes clusters. So we have a team that sort of got ahead of us, and they just forked it and are doing I don't know what right now. They're doing some crazy stuff, but I guess what I'd like to see is like a forum to discuss some challenges we have. So right now we're in a mode where we install Headlamp in cluster for every cluster that you want to manage. That's very limiting because it turns off things like the cluster list and some features like add-on management, or sorry, plugin management are only available in desktop mode, right? So we're looking for ways to sort of get the the installed cloud version of Headlamp to become closer to the desktop version. And also, we're looking for ways to maybe be able to have tighter control over the skinning, and potentially like not have to run it on a per cluster basis. Like if we could do, some kind of like supervisor cluster that runs it, but then can communicate with many workload clusters at once, that would be very helpful for us. It would also simplify auth because right now we have to go through auth flow for every single cluster you want to talk to, right? So a lot of high level things, and really just trying to understand like how do we propose larger scale changes and get some discussion going, to make sure that what we want aligns with what the rest of the headline community wants, and also, if we can contribute efforts, how to coordinate that with other parties.
Do you want me to
Great.
take this one?
Who said that, Joaquin? Yeah,
Yeah.
if you want to, you can, or I can. Up to you. Go for it.
Yeah. So the by the way, thanks for being in the call and bringing this up. Yeah. So the theme of having a cluster that acts as like almost a bastion to others is a recurring one, right? I think we have a CAPI plugin which should help on that. But also, this is possible by having one deployment of Headlamp with a kubeconfig that is configured to with different contexts, right? Of course, you don't want to have the user part of those contexts because you don't want to share the same auth with whoever accesses Headlamp. So, but you can use the kubeconfig just to tell which clusters should be configured for Headlamp, and that should work also in the cloud, right? The rest of the things you mentioned, yes, like managing plugins in the cloud, it's something that in the cloud version or the web version is something that we deliberately chose not to, and that's why the even stuff like the plugin, the plugin catalog is also a plugin, right? It's because it's easier to not include that code path even. I think it's completely legit if you want to have a deployment on the web with Headlamp and also the plugin catalog. But of course, since it kind of relies on Node and on doing stuff in the dashboard, I kind of am interested in seeing how that would translate to an architecture that works well on the cloud, right? Where you're going to install those plugins that and how do you control that? Like anyone can just install plugins and all that. Of course, we don't. I don't think this is the call to go into those details. But if you want to propose something like that, I think you can propose it in an issue, or you also have a discussion the discussions tab in GitHub, or you can just drop something in on Slack and we can discuss it in there. So definitely, I think bringing stuff like that, which is a fundamental change, or even if it's not a change, it's a matter of supporting something, right? So maybe other members in the community also have that desire. It's the right path. So that's a good thing. And about the forking, just to finish, I sent you a message on Slack. Hopefully I got the right person. But I gave a talk this year in this year's KubeCon EU about forking Headlamp and approaches to do that, which also includes approaches how not to do that, right? So it depends really on the use case, and I can also help in answering questions on Slack if you have related questions.
Yeah, I think they just did it to get something out the door. I'm trying to gently pressure them to undo it. So that's a work in progress.
Cool.
I just want to add a couple of things to what Joaquin said, and then maybe we can continue another forum. We can do the present. Yeah, maybe we should have a meeting. So it's, but if you want to, we can. And about the plugin catalog, that Oracle contributed some contributions to the plugin catalog so they can run it in cluster. So there's some work there that might be able to using. And I noticed also some people in a discussion who were all talking about wanting to do multi-cluster. Somebody figured out how to do it kind of in a nice way, and then a few other people copied them. So maybe there's, yeah, it's in the discussions part of GitHub. I think it's one of the top rated, as if you saw it by.
Yeah, we'll have a look. I think for a lot of these, the scale is maybe larger than typical use cases. Like, I don't know that it would all fit into an env string, for example.
You will be
Cool. So
surprised.
yeah, maybe we can continue the discussion on Slack.
Yep, that
We
sounds
can
good.
create it,
Mhm.
figure out meeting to discuss more details. So yeah. Will, I think you said Summit will go next.
Yes, I'm just going by who put in their comment first in the chat, I think, or was, yeah. Summit, you're first. Looks like you answered. And Albert, I just sent you a message there. Would love to follow up on that conversation, even put a meeting together if possible. But Summit,
On Slack or somewhere else?
right here in the Zoom
Oh,
chat.
okay, one sec.
I'll also follow up in Slack too.
Okay, should I start?
Yeah, please go for it.
Yeah. So I wanna showcase the work that Joachim and me working for a couple of months on the Kyverno plugin. Is my screen is visible? Just a second. Is my screen visible?
Yeah, we
Yes.
can see it.
Yeah. So here's the Kyverno plugin for the headlamp. It is basically a policy engine based on the Kubernetes. Suppose we wanna implement some if-else conditions to the resources of the Kubernetes. Kyverno comes in pictures. Here's the dashboard. Here are the total policies which we applied. Here are the resources that pass them, fail them, complaints, and it is a bar graph showing that how many of the ports pass it and how many of them fails it. It is a complaints by namespace word chart here. Here we can have that filtering by the namespaces, like the Kyverno have that much passing at that much failure, test has that much passing at that much failure, and also like it. After it, we come to the policy section. Here we can see the policies listed, and these are the texts, like what they are used to be. Column means is it ready or not. Here are the cluster policies table, like what are the rules behind that policies, like using latest tag is not allowed. And here is the associated report results associated with it, like which pod pass it and which pod fails it. These are the cluster policies here, and we can have something like that for the other one too. And let's go to the policies section. Here are the policies which we apply to the namespace. We can apply it to the default namespace or the one which we want to apply. And here is the results, like how many of them are passing and how many of them are failing. Here is the policy. It is the rules and it is the associated report results, like 0. We are currently working on it, that part. and here's the rules associated with it. And here are the cell policies, like the validation policies. And we do have some two validation policies here. And here are the details associated with it, like what is the message, what expression that we use here. Like deployments can't have more than 5 replicas. And here is the overview about it. And we do have some violations, like, yeah, that's it. Like which, let me show you some filters, like which source violates, what is the result and what is the message associated with it, what is the namespace here. And we do have a report section here. Like we can also have it, like filter it with the, any namespace we want. And we do have a exception section here. We do not have like current exceptions. That's why it is empty. And we do have a very beautiful Kyverno compliance wedge here, which is showing the summary, like 40% are compliant, how many of them are passed, how many of them are failed. And if we click on the view all violations, it goes here. We can also filter it by the namespace, by kind, and the policy. And it is all about the Kyverno plugin, which we are working. Thanks for it.
Hey, Renee, let me just say, I know that I think Sumit has been working on this for a while, and I've been reviewing the stuff and committing. I would like someone to also take a look, or testing would be even better. Because I think this is very close to being mergeable.
It's about the Kyverno plugin. I also have applied to the LFX with the Metal Tree plugin. Let's see where it goes. Do anyone have any questions?
I think it's good that you added that little icon on the top right corner of Headlamp. I never seen other plugins use that part of the UI, and it's a great idea.
Yeah, like we are currently working on that plugin. We can shift that icon. We generally attach that icon there because we have to gain a summary about all the things happening here. Like Kyverno is like the if-else conditions applied to the resources. We don't need to have the summary and overview about them, like what is happening in the backend. That's why we attached here, try to do we can refactor it on the basis of committee and all.
Have you thought of working with a map, with a graph map for the plugin too, like using nodes and connecting them in the map? Have you been playing with it yet?
Yeah, I have been uh, in the Kyverno plugin. I think there is no need of maps. Like basically, if we have a plugin like the Metal 3, there the resources are connected one by one. That a physical host to the resources, and then these resources to other thing. That's why map is needed. I don't think if else conditions in the Kyberno plugin requires map, but also we can have the committee views about it, and if it's needed, we can add that map section into it too. Thanks for the suggestion.
Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to find the use case where the maps fit for some solutions, right? Like just the detail pages are okay sometimes.
Yeah, sorry. I cannot get you. So, could you please type in the chat about
Oh yeah,
your
yeah.
query?
I'm sorry. I was saying that sometimes it's not easy to find the use case to to implement the graphing part of a plugin, right? Because sometimes you're just okay with the detailed pages you need for the information. So sometimes, like I had
Yeah.
this trouble with my plugins too. Like, okay, how do I put this in the map? Like, how does this connect with that? And why would I need to see it in that way, right? And to me, that's a little of a challenge with Headlamp to keep to not go too much into detail on the pages without adding things to the map and figuring out the relationship they have actually visually, right?
Yeah.
That's something that I never had with Headlamp, so I wasn't used to doing it. So it's a huge challenge to me. That's why I asked you, because I had a great deal of trouble trying to figure how to put my stuff in the map. Apart from the development part, which is like, it's just really difficult too.
Yeah. Like, can add maps to it, like plugins which require it, in my opinion. We do have a section, if I can see.
In the interest of
This can
time,
be
should
discussed.
we move on to add-ons? Three
Yeah, I think
plugins.
so. And I think this is a
Okay.
good discussion that can follow up on Slack.
Yeah, we can discuss more
Thank
on
you.
Slack. Esteban, thanks for the session.
Okay. My time, I'm gonna share the screen. I'm gonna try to be brief because I tend to obfuscate a lot. Okay, that's my screen. Let me know when you see it. So, do you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see.
Okay. Well, this is Headlamp. This is Headlamp running on a LXC container next to my cloud. So I've added two kube configs as we were talking earlier in the chat of this Zoom call about adding more clouds to the Headlamp configuration using an MBAR. I don't have a lot of clouds to test it with, like to see what the limit is in characters to that thing. But so far I got two of them, and they were pretty nice. I have changed a couple Headlamp code lines to just for this time, so I can show you more than 50 nodes on the screen because that's a hard code limitation in the code. So I wanted to change it because it wouldn't show all my nodes right now. And another thing, I found a little bug. I don't know if it's a bug. It's just something that maybe it wasn't implemented yet or tested. But when you are in the cloud view and you move from no filters to a namespace filter, and you have nodes that are in both and nodes that aren't, there's gonna be a change. Some nodes are gonna move, and then some edges are gonna disappear from that. So I with a lot of help with the AI from the AI, I gotta be honest, it helped me to figure that out, and I changed a little code, just one file in Headlamp, so I made it work. So when the nodes move, their edges get recalculated, even if the nodes were already visited by the thing, right? Okay, so this view represents two clouds. One of them is the mother cloud, and the other one is the daughter cloud, right? In the mother cloud, I use Tecton pipelines to trigger the build or and test of a program from GitHub pull request, right? So I have an event listener on Tecton with this information, and then it triggers the trigger, right? And the trigger triggers a trigger template, which runs pipelines, which runs tasks, and then those tasks result in task runs. So I wanted to add another project to this so I could apply Calico policies. Calico is a networking project. So I created this little concolor thingy, which is yet another cat. Tecton is a cat project. Calico is a cat project. So I thought it was a good idea to make Concolor a cat project. So Concolor is a controller that applies network policies to factory elements, to factory resources. So we got a factory resource is, for example, a task, and the task has information on what's going to be run, and then the task run is an instance of that task with the specific configurations that can come from either a pipeline or a pipeline run. There's many ways to spin up these little thingies. If you haven't checked that project, I recommend you to check it. Tecton is a great project. I've been working with it like for a long time. It's open source and it's crazy. And like the fact that I can visualize all these thanks to Headlamp is amazing. I've been working with this just on terminals and running commands, and it was very frustrating for my fingers. So this is a relief. So now I have a pipeline, for example, that I wanted to show you here. So this pipeline compiles a single program and it doesn't use policies or anything. But this one, this pipeline that also has the policies applied to them, this pipeline actually builds the controller for Concolo. So this pipeline runs tasks that, where is it? Oh, sorry, here it is. This pipeline will run a lot of tasks in the mother cloud that will assert E2E tests using kubectl on the daughter cloud. So this daughter cloud right here will be making just test objects in the cloud to assess how nodes connect with each other when policies relate to task runs and pipeline runs. So this is the thing I've been working on with the plugins. Apart from like building the controller, I also wanted to use Headlamp to visualize its build and test process. So I also I built I added M tests for Kubernetes that run next to the code that you can run in Windows or Linux. But then I also wanted to run the tests literally on the cloud to actually assert what happens for real when things happen on the cloud. So this is what's left after all that. The plugins have well, they have these resources in the map, so you can filter them. You can also filter them by namespace. So this is just a single namespace. And then you can, if you select a namespace that exists in both clouds, like for example, this one, the E2E test, it's easier to see the pipeline that produced the actual events in the other cloud. So both clouds are running in the same node, and the daughter cloud is running entirely in LXC VMs because it's easier and very cheap. And then there's this. There you go. Then there's the sidebar, and there's also the detail pages. Well, the pipeline run has these glance little boxes that show what's going on, if the pipeline succeeded and all. And then if you click on an item, for example, a good one is, let's see, let me show you. Oh, the bar is getting in the middle. Okay, there you go. There you go. So when you click on an actual task that has scripts in it, you will see the scripts and you can edit them. Please don't hack me. So you can edit the scripts within the map view, but also you can see all the elements here for all the 3 plugins. So the design of these plugins is kind of coupled. It couples them together, but it makes the Tecton plugin depend on the other 2. I'm sorry, the Concolor plugin depends on the other 2 because it's just a mediator of those 2 plugins. But then the other 2 plugins have to be able to see each other if the third one isn't there, because they also relate to each other in a way. Because once I apply the policies to the pipelines, the actual CRDs that produce those relations, they don't need to be there anymore. So let's say I get to the cloud view for only Calico and Tecton, maybe. So when I expand it, yeah, that's a lot. So I can also see the cloud elements for Calico that are, for example, my IP pools and my IPAM blocks, which are purely IPv6. This is also the base, like the backbone of all my tests is only IPv6 in the cloud. There's no IPv4. There's not even localhost to 127.0.0.0.1, and it wasn't easy. So you can see here, for example, in this glance, you can see how many IPs have been assigned from every IPAM block, and the other one for the test cloud. And then for the detailed pages, I didn't do fancy things here really. It's just IPv6 capable. You can see the the pools, or I mean, the most important part of this of the sidebar, I think, is the Tecton part, because this is really something you work a lot with. So this, you can see the cluster where the resources are, the amount of tasks in them, and specific information about them. So does anyone have any question?
I have a question about IPv6. Yeah, very
Yes.
nice.
Thank you.
Could you go into a little bit more detail about the types of issues that you encountered? Because it does
Well,
seem to me there's lots of little issues with IPv6 in all
all of
sorts of
them.
systems.
It's like
All of the
living in
issues.
Argentina and buying a car from England, right? So you got everything is sideways. Everything is defaulted to 127.0.0.1 or localhost, and nothing uses IPv6 notation. Nothing recognizes the brackets of the IPv6 addresses in the URIs. Like there's like I'm already used to it, but every time I wanna implement or deploy something in my cloud, I have to account for the IPv6 part. Like I know that before I can even run anything, I have to make it work on IPv6, and then I'll be running it. This is why I also haven't been able to test. Is it Kubeflow? Yeah, I think it's called Kubeflow, the Kubernetes solution for AI pipelines. They also have a very rich user interface, the UI, the dashboard, but I struggled too much on IPv6 with it, so I had to quit it because it was taking me like days to just make the different deployments work, and it spins up like tens of deployments and uses a lot of config maps and namespaces, and every single deployment uses 127.0.0.1 and stuff like that. So what I did for this is I also set the nodes IPs of my clusters to purely IPv6. So I am using the kernel module called Jool, Jool, that allows you to give internet connectivity from IPv4 to an IPv6 realm, right? So there's an intermediary interface and some routing in place that allows my purely IPv6 cluster to make queries to a DNS servers that would translate those IPv4 IPs from the internet to generated IPv6 addresses. So my pods think they are actually speaking to the internet in IPv6, which is not. So I did this for security reasons to also save resources, because I reduced the attack factor by only using one protocol, and also splitting the realms, right, from IPv6 in the cloud to IPv4 in the real world at the environmental level of the node. So I can easier. I have an easier way to select what domains the cloud can resolve, and there's no possibility to do pings in the cloud, but also they can't be forging packets in this way, because they will be trying to forge packets for IPv4 in an IPv6 cloud. So and even if they do IPv6 real IPs, those don't exist in my cloud either, right? So that it makes it easier and saves me a lot of resources that I don't have on security to keep on deving without getting hacked, especially these days with all the AI. I hope that answers your question.
Oh, thanks. thanks. That's part. Yeah, I feel like the whole ecosystem has a lot of work to do. IPv6.
I think
Yeah,
there's an
thank.
incentive to IPv6 too that makes things free for those who use it. I had a pretty great experience with Cloudflare. I am not associated with them, no monetized to them or anything. They don't provide me anything, but they give me free service for real. Like when you use Cloudflare with their tunnel, it will protect you from DDoS, and also when you make the tunnel, it will work with gRPC natively, and it doesn't like it doesn't see the difference between IPv4 and 6 on my setup. So that's the best for me. That's another thing I don't have to worry about.
My internet connection, one of them is IPv6. Struggle with some.
Yeah, that's great too. Some ISPs are like, I use Dish Internet, the one that the one from that guy that also makes cars. So ugly cars. And this internet, it's pretty fast, but it's very unstable. But the benefit it has is that not only it gives you IPv6, it will give you a full 48 block for yourself of directly routable IPv6 traffic. So I can actually, if I want to, I could host a web server on my phone, which is dead right now, but that's another stuff. So I could bring IPv6 public internet to every device on my house, which is very unsafe to do, but I could if I wanted to, and that's great. IPv6 is, I think, is the best. It also brings a lot of improvements on latency and a lot of. I don't think some people that are against it, or I've heard some mentions that say that it is not really that useful, or like it makes no difference, and I differ. I differ from the routing standpoint. I differ from like a lot of standpoints. IPv6 is better in a lot of ways, and it really saves resources. I've seen things run a lot faster, to me, with this kind of work pipelines with IPv6 than IPv4.
Great. Thanks for that, Esteban.
Thank you all for listening. I will be releasing all this. One of them is already released as a scaffold. The Calico plugin is available on my GitHub repo. I will link it in the chat right now, so you can check it out.
And are you on Slack? If anyone has any other questions to follow up, continue.
Yes, I'm Gatito on Slack, so if you want to hit me up in there.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for that. I think since in the interest of time, we have about 10 minutes left. Mahmoud, it looks like you're up next.
Yeah, I'm here. Let me share my screen. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. So the plugin I'm going to demo is for Volcano. For those who don't know, Volcano is a batch scheduling system for like heavy computing stuff like big data, AI, machine learning, all that kind of stuff. And it has really cool features for those use cases. One of them being gang scheduling and unified scheduling. So basically, when you're trying to run some machine learning jobs, and like those jobs, like you already have limited resources, right? So when you create like jobs that need some exact resources, and your resources are limited, things can get really inefficient. So Volcano helps solve that issue with a lot of cool features. So this is my plugin demo for Headlamp. Those are the list views for our Volcano custom resources. can create a job from here. And we can look for at everything in the details viewer. I have already like showed this before in the previous community call. It had a lot less details in the details view. So I have added a lot of info right here that would be really useful. You can also here like choose what to show and what not to show with the filters. Right here, I'm applying some dummy jobs to just show you the what the plugin can do. So right here, it shows like links between a plugin between the custom resources. For example, the job here is linked to the queue on the pod group, so we can just go from the job here to the linked queue that is running that job. And we here also have all the details for the queue. Same for the pod group. And we also have some conditions. For example, a job might be pending and you don't know the reason why. Like you create a job and you expect it to be running, but you don't you can say from the CLI it's pending, but you don't know the reason, and you have to like search out for like it's gonna be a lot of hassle to find out the reason. So right here is just with one click you can see why a job is running, why it's pending, I mean, and the state of all the different jobs and pod groups. Right here as well, we link the pod connected to the group, so you can see the errors are and the stuff that's going wrong with the pods, so you don't have to jump between multiple views. And also we implemented logs. So right here, this is a dummy job. It only outputs fail like just one line. But in real use cases, you would have a lot of commands running. So having logs like this with the outputs of those commands will be really helpful. And you can also from the logs choose which pod, because a job can have multiple pods and you want to isolate which pod you want to see the logs for. We also have some action buttons that is connected to the Volcano CLI. So just clicking on that button will pause or suspend the job that is running. And we have the same for queues as well. Like we'll go here for a queue, and we see the queue is open. We can close it from this action button, and we can also update the queue weight. And see it's updated in real time. And we can see the job that we asked to be suspended is now aborted. And we can continue running the Git again. Those are multiple custom resources that are kind of connected to each other. So the job template is like a skeleton for the job that you want to do. And you can use job flows to create multiple jobs based on that skeleton. So Last time when I was presenting, we didn't have those, but I have implemented them. We can see here that we generated two jobs from the job template in this job flow. And we can go to that job template directly and to the job itself. And also have some information about the status of each job right here. We also did a resource map integration, so you can visualize the custom resources of Volcano on the map, so it's easier control if you have a lot of like jobs and queues and so on. For example, here we had job queue and pod group. Right here we have the job and the pod group connected, and the pod that is connected to them. When you click on it, you just go to the detail page, and it shows you everything. We also have a queue glance. Like when you hover over this, you can see the queue. Go on it. Then we also have the queue tree. Like yeah, it's in the volcanic queue. It's built as an hierarchy. So this is the visualization of the hierarchy for better understanding. Yeah, that's what we have released so far. But I can show you also something behind the scenes. I have been working on a Prometheus integration as well. So if you go here for the volcanic queues, we can see a new button here for showing the Prometheus metrics, right? And if we get, for example, we go here and we go last hour, can see one job was pending and one job was running, and we have different colors for all of them. Right now, we only have for one job that is pending. Here also in memory and CPU, it shows you how much memory and CPU were used. But right now it doesn't show anything because the jobs we created are dummy jobs, so they don't use any CPU or memory. Yeah, that's it. Does anybody have any questions?
Excellent. Thanks for that, Mahmoud. Looks like we don't have any questions. Mudit, are you on the call? We
Yeah.
can,
Thank you for listening.
if you want to present, and then we can end the call right after. I know we're a bit over time at the moment.
Yeah. So I worked on the Knative plugin, and I'll just give a brief about Knative. So Knative provides serverless capabilities to your Kubernetes workloads. So stuff like auto scaling, traffic splitting, revision management, pretty much, yeah. So I'll just show the video that I worked on since we are on a time crunch. Is my screen visible?
Yeah, we can see it.
So yeah, the revisions are basically different versions of your service. So if you have, they can have different environment variables. So that is the main focus of the details here. Domain mapping is the specific domain that your service is mapped to, and a cluster domain claim is a domain that is claimed by the whole cluster, so it's a cluster wide resource. Yeah, that was it.
That's a great plugin.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. And since we're all a little while over, are you on Slack, Woody? Right? Yeah, you should be, right? Correct. Right.
Yeah,
So,
is my
so
screen still sharing?
no, you stopped.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank God.
Great. So if any questions there, follow up, please reach out in Slack. And thank you all for joining. Rennie, is there anything you want to add before we drop? Or Joaquin?
No, just great presentations, everyone. It was really interesting. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you all.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Good rest of your day. Bye.
Hey.